All right, beautiful people, welcome back to the branded news session. And today we are going to learn about SQL. So, it is basically going to be a structured query language. I will teach you some of the basics. I have seen so many content creators online. They basically teach SQL injection. So, our ultimate goal is SQL injection, but if you are a beginner and if you have no knowledge how SQL works, then how you will be able to perform SQL injection on web applications. So that's why before diving into SQL injection, you should have the knowledge about SQL language. So we will cover SQL, and once we just done with the SQL, then we gonna, don't worry, I will not going to be in depth into this stuff, because I know we are not here to learn some programming or development stuff, but you have some basic knowledge about SQL, then you will be able to perform SQL injection attacks. So basically SQL stands for structured query language. Basically it is a programming language designed for managing and manipulating relational databases. Yeah, so you can basically manipulate and manage relational databases. It allow user to interact with databases by performing operations. So you can basically perform operations with the help of SQL. Like what kind of operation? Those operations can be retrieving the data, inserting new records into tables, inserting record into database, whatever you call it. You can basically update the existing record, and you can delete the record if you have already some records in your database. So basically SQL use a set of commands such as select, insert, update, and delete to interact with the data stored in the database. It provides a standardized way to communicate with database and is widely used in application and system involve data storage and retrieval. So that was just simple, you can call it, introduction or definition about SQL injection. You will get all this stuff in your notes, so just don't worry about anything. Okay, after that I want you to teach you some basic things about databases, how to create tables, xyz, some basic stuff. So the first thing I need to teach you is like how you can create database in SQL language. You just need to type create database, and then you can just specify the name of the database. Like for example, let's give it a name, my database. Okay, then just terminate it with the with semicolon. Yeah, so this is how you can actually create a database, by just typing create database and name of the database. That's all. Now if you want to use that database, in order to perform some operations on it, you can actually use this was all about like, let me add a hash, how to create a database. Okay, database. After this I'll teach you how you can actually use the database, the usage. Okay, the use of database. Use of database. Okay, to use the database you just need to type the keyword use, and then you need to provide the name of the database, in which in our case its name is basically my uh, database. Okay, so basically this is how you can use the database. Now it is the time, like I want to create some tables into it. How I can do it? You can actually create a table. Let's say how to, these are the comments, so just ignore it, just for clarity that you should know how it works. So how to create create tables in database. Basically you can create a table by just typing create table, and then you need to provide the name of the table. For example, I want to create a table for the users, so I just need to provide users. That's all I need. After this you can provide the data inside that user. Let's say just use those brackets, and then just give it some enters. After that, you can provide the what kind of columns you want to create into this particular database. So this particular table. So let's say I want to create id, and then I want to create a username column, and then that will definitely contain usernames of the users. And after that, I want to create a new column which is basically passwords, or password. So basically the id will get all those data, that will be basically a primary id, okay, through which you will be able to uniquely identify those data. Don't worry, I'll explain. So let's say this id type should be int, and it should be primary key. Primary key, it should be a primary key. After this, you need to provide the username to, like what kind of data you want to store in username. So let's say uh where variable, where care, or where char, whatever you called it. So basically you can add variable and characters into this. You can specify the length, how much you want to provide. So just use this, and the password should be also same in the same way as it have. So just copy this one and paste it here. This is how it works. Then at the end, you can just close it with the help of this semicolon. Okay, so this is how it works. Now let me break down it, like what I actually did. In SQL, the ID, username, and passwords are referred to as column names. Okay, each column represents a specific attribute or piece of information within the user table. For example, we have ID, username, and password column. So basically, ID is an integer column and is defined as primary key, which means it uniquely identify each row in the table. Okay. After that, we have username. So username in where care, some people call it char, some people call it care, whatever you called it, where char. So basically username is a where char 50 column, indicating it can store variable length character strings up to 50 characters. The column typically hold the users names of the users, that's all. And password is another varchar 50 column, usually storing hashed or encrypted password for the user's authentication. This is how you can basically create a table inside any database. After this, I'm going to show you how actually you can retrieve the data, so from the tables or database. So I'll say, let's say how to um, retrieve the data from tables. Let's call it table, let's say table. So basically you can retrieve the data with the help of a select statement or select command. So just type select the data you want to retrieve. For example, let's say select static from. Now you need to provide the source, like you need to provide the user, you need to provide the table, from which table you want to get the data. Let's say users. So basically what it will do, it will grab all the data that is inside in a user tables. That static means all. Remember that static means all. So select static from users means that please give me all the data that is inside in a user table. Now if you want to get any particular data, let's say select id equal to 1 from users, you will get the data that belongs to that you will get the data of that person that have a id number equal to 1. So this is how basically you can retrieve the data from the tables. Okay, after this you can actually if you want to filter the data. For example, I want to grab any particular data from the you can say table. So let's say filtering the data. So how I can do it? Let me give it some spaces like this. I hope you can see my screen very clearly. So let's say select static from users where user name equal to, let's say, I'll provide it in a you can say I'll provide it in a single quotes or double quotes. So um let's say this. Let us go with the single quotes. I might do some mistake in quotes, but I actually am here to teach you how it works. So I think that will be fine. So this is how you can filter the data. For example, let's remove this one statement because I showed you both in the same way. So basically I want to get only that data that belongs to my Oud user. How I can do it? I can just type select static that please give me all the data from users table. No, I'm here applying a condition where username should be Masood. It will look for the username that is equal to Masood. If it got it, then it will show all the data that belongs to that particular user. This is how you can filter the data. After that, okay, we are going good. After that, if you want to update any data, so let's say updating updating data. So let's say I want to update some data. How I can do it? You can use update keyword, update. Then you need to specify the table name, which table, on which table you want to do some updation. Let's say users. I want to update some data in user, so that's why update user. And what you do, I want to set a new password. Okay, let's say I want to set a new password. I want to change the password. How I can do it? So I can basically do it like update users and then set password. Now what does this password refer to? This password, if you remember, is a column. This is just a column inside a user table. So basically I'm updating the data in a user table, and I actually want to update only password. So I'll set only the password. I want to do some updation in the password section that belongs to user table, and then I need to provide the new password. So just set password equal to, then you can just specify the new password. Let's call it new password 123. Okay, it is a weak password. Do not use these kind of passwords anyway. So then I need to provide the primary ID. Every user have its own primary ID. Through that primary ID, the data will be uniquely identified. So you will be able to grab any data uniquely from the database with the help of primary key, because every data will have its own unique primary key. That's why I need to provide this primary key too. So let's call it where 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 id equal to 1. So what it gonna do, it will look for the id equal to 1, and it will say, hey, this id equal to 1 belongs to my old user. And okay, I got it. Now what I want to do, it will basically look for the password section. It will look for the password column. Let me give you a easy way. What it will do, it will basically update some data in user table. And then what kind of data it will do, it will basically set a password, and that password will be new password 123. Let's say. No, the thing is, there is so many users. which password you want to change. The password will belong to which user. I want to change the password that belongs to Masood user. So Masood have its own unique ID. Okay, every user will have its own unique ID. That's why I provide the ID, which is a primary key, so I'm able to update that particular data that belongs to any particular user. So this is how you can actually update the data. Now the next thing is data deletion. Delete data. How to delete data, or you can say it how to delete data. Yeah, how to delete data in SQL with SQL in any database. So basically you can do it with, it is very easy. You just need to type delete, just type delete, and then let's say delete from whom. You just need to type delete from, and then users. Like I want to delete some data that is belongs to users, so delete from users. You need to provide the primary ID, where the ID equal to 1. Let's say the ID equal to 1 belongs to Masood user, and it will delete all the data. It will wipe up all the data that belongs to Masood user in a user table. So this is how you can basically delete the data, update the data, filter the data, and retrieve the data. And this is how you can create the databases. This is just the structures, how to create tables, databases. So I hope I have teach you some basics about database. In the notes section, don't worry, everything is here. You will get each and everything at the end. I just add some dummy structure database. I created a dummy structure based database for you, which is basically belonging to a hospital database information system, practical hospital database information system. So it has just some dummy structure. For example, at first here I created a hospital database, then I used that database, then I created here different you can say tables. At first I created a patient tables which contain patient ID, name, age, gender, each and everything. Then I created a second table that belongs to doctor, so I add their columns like doctor ID, name, doctor specialization, experience, air, xyz. After that, for example, I added a new table which is basically belongs, which is based on appointments. Okay, like patient ID, appointment ID, patient ID, doctor ID. Okay, to whom doctor it is going to be referred, and appointment data. Okay, basically I have added so many things. So and then I just teach you how you can basically insert some data into I think I just forgot teach you about the insertion. You can actually do insertion into, like you can insert data into any you can say table. So you can just type insert into, then you just need to specify the particular table name, and then you can insert the value. For example, patient, let's say patient have 1 2 3 4 and 5 columns. So you can basically add those data into the columns. Patient ID 1, name John, and it is 35 years old, it is a male, and basically this is the date of you can say admission date or date of admit. So this is how you can insert data into any dummy in database. So I hope you got some basics about in SQL injection, sorry, SQL structured query language. No, remember, just get some basic idea how SQL works, that's all. After that, there is a very good resource that I want you that you should must refer. Let's say SQLW3 schools. This is going to be a very good resource. Like if you want to learn more about SQL, you can actually learn. This is the SQL home, so it contains some practical exercises to, like SQL intro. What is this? Basically SQL stand for structured query language. You can use it to manipulate data. You can do so many things with it. So all each and everything is here, and you can use it with the websites, do so many and so many things. I'll highly recommend you can just go through it. This is how the tables look like this is a demo database that have a customer table, and this customer id, customer name, customer basically contact number, address, city, postal code, and country. This is something called the columns inside the database, and these columns contain some data. So yeah, this is that how it looks like. And yeah, you can just give it a read, you can just do practice here. I think that will be one of the best resource for you. So that was all for SQL language, or you can call it SQL by itself. I'll see you in the SQL injection section, in which I'll teach how you can exploit SQL vulnerability. So take care, bye. Alright guys, welcome back to the new lab, and in this lab we are going to cover about what we have learned in our previous labs. Like, we will collect all of the learning and we will put them together in one lab. So basically we have the lab SQL injection attack listing the database content on a non-Oracle database. Well, we have two kind of databases: Oracle based databases and non-Oracle based databases. If I go to ChatGPT and ask list me the names of non Oracle databases, you will be able to see that it has so many, like MySQL, PostgreSQL, Microsoft SQL Server, MongoDB SQLite, so many and so many. So basically we are going to cover this for non-Oracle based databases. We will do all the steps one by one in order to achieve it. So what I'm gonna do, I'll just copy the name of the lab, and then just go back to the labs of SQL. Just search about it, you will be able to see them here, see it here. Just right click on it and open it in you're gonna just open it in a new lab, new tab. So once you open it, everything will be something look like this. So here we have a solution tab, you can just go through it if you are not able to solve it. And you can just access the lab. But before going through the lab, going into the lab, I think we need to read the description. So basically this lab contain SQL injection vulnerability in the product category filter. The result from the query are returned in the application response. As always, you will be able to see the response in the application, and moreover, the product filter category is basically vulnerable with SQL injection, okay, vulnerability, and you will need to perform union based attack in order to retrieve the data from the other table. And the application has a logic function, and the database contain a table that hold username and password. Remember, if you remember last time, they have provided me the users table and the username and the password column, but this time they are not going to provide me anything. We have to do everything by ourselves. Means we will need to find the table that contain username and password, and then we will grab the username and password from that particular table. So you need to determine the name of this table and column it contains. So we need to determine the table and the name of the columns that it contains, then retrieve the content and obtain the username and password for all users. So this is what we need to do, and at the end we need to grab the administrator user login credentials, and they have also provided me SQL injection cheat sheet, so you can just go through it if you want it. Like here we have all the cheat sheet that you might need it in future, or you need it while solving the lab. So I'll recommend you to just save it with yourself. You should know at least about it. Okay, here we have different categories. Like, I click on pets and I'll check the application by using single quote to check is it vulnerable or not. And the application broke down, it means that yeah, it is actually vulnerable with SQL injection vulnerability. So if you remember, we are just doing each and everything in the notes format. What I'll do here, I'll go the first thing I'll need to find is the number of column. So I'll go with one null value to check whether it contain one column or not. So union plus select plus null and dash dash, and it is giving me an error, which means that there are more than one number of columns. So I'll go with the two number of columns, union select null and null. I'll just increase it with to the null value, yeah, from 1 to 2. That's all you need to do. So you can see I just discovered that there is two number of columns, which means that we are good to go now. I have just find out that yes, actually it contain two number of columns. The next thing I need to do is to remove the first null value and check is it contain text or string based data. So I'll use two single quotes and I'll put some dummy data into it to see that if it is returning me that value, then that data, that string or text, then it means that it have the ability, it is useful table, it is useful column, so we can utilize it, and it is not giving me an error but returning me the string or text, then it means that yeah, we are good to go with it. Then I'll check for the second null value. Let's type def here. If in case if it gives you an error, then you have to leave it as it is a null by itself, because you just cannot put anything into it, because the application will give you an error and you will not be able to perform SQL injection. So in this case, both tables, both columns have the ability to give me the data. So this is a plus point for me, like, to be honest. The next thing I'll need to do is, let me do it here. I'll recommend you to write the queries rather doing copy paste. Okay, as I memorize everything. So the next thing is we will create a payload that will basically list the database, that will basically list the tables in the database. Okay, so just union plus select plus, then for the to this I just need tables. So by default the table names in non-Oracle databases is table name, so just type table and then just type name, and then just type comma name and name, then just type comma and plus, and the second null value should be as it is, because I'm only interested in to view the table names, that's all. Okay, right now I need to perform only one query. Okay, then we need to perform from where I need to grab it from, plus there is a by default a table in tables in the database of non-Oracle databases. Basically you can just find out them by just typing information schema.tables. So you just need to type information schema dot tables and dash dash. That's all you need to do. Remember, this information schema dot tables is by default for all the tables of non-Oracle databases, and this table name is also by default, so you just cannot modify it. You can use it for all the websites that are basically non-Oracle. So just copy it and go back to the website and remove the first query and paste the new one, and you can clearly see I literally listed all the tables that are in the database. So all I'm interested in to find out the user table. So let's type let's find out users. Okay, users table. So here I only got one match, and this is going to be, I think it is going to be the user table. So here we just got the user table, and we will list it here. So it is a user table. After this, what we can do now, we need to find the name of the table containing user credentials. Okay, we will find out. Okay, so we will create a new payload that will retrieve the details of the column in the user table. This one this one that we have discovered is a table. It will definitely contain so many columns, and we need to grab those columns in order to check what kind of column it have. If it contain username and password column, then it will be easy for us to grab the username and password. No, just this query is going to be a little bit long, but it will be easy, don't worry. So just type the union select statement as it is, union plus select plus. Remember, this time we are not going to use the table name, as this time I'm interested in column, so that's why I'll type column name. Okay, in union select column name from whom. Basically you need to provide the null value to, because we have two columns, if you remember. Okay, null. No, you can type from. No, you need to provide the default schema of column, so you just need to type information schema dot columns. Columns, you know, these both queries is in same. For tables you just need to type table name, and for column you just need to type column name. And for by default tables in non-oracle databases, you just need to type information schema dot tables, and for columns you just need to type information schema dot columns. That's all you need to do. No, you need to specify the condition, like you need to provide the condition to from where you want to grab the you know, columns, from where you want to grab the columns. Now here I will set a condition where table name equal to this. Just paste it, and at the end use dash dash as it is. So you can see that let me minimize it a bit. If I unwrap it, okay, so you can see union select column name, that hey, I want to select column name null from information schema dot columns, where basically where the table name is the one that we have discovered which belongs to user table. So this is what we actually did. We just created a query with the help of which you will be able to find out the yeah, I think it should be like this. That would be more fine, but you know, yeah, this is fine. So you can just go through it. Union select column name null from information schema dot columns, where the table name equal to the user table that we have discovered. So just copy it. Okay, I just copy the entire one and I'll paste it here. And boom, it gives me the error. All right, we just did a mistake. You need to find out the mistake, that where we actually did the mistake. So let's copy it. Let's copy it, repaste it here, or just open the notes. Okay, so union plus select plus column name, union plus select plus column name null from INFORMAT information schema dot columns. Yeah, columns where table name equal to this one. So let's do one thing. Let's enclose it in a single quote. Let's enclose this string in a single quote, and then see is it fine with us or not. So I'll just make a copy of it. and I'll go back and I'll just open this. So let's go through it, remove the old query and paste the new one, and it is still, yeah, the error has been removed. It is now returning me a valid content, which means that we need to use this single quotes to yeah, this is basically a string that contain a special character. That's why we need to encode it, we need to close it in a string. So basically we got so many things, like you can clearly see we got the column. So basically there are two columns. The one is basically users column and the second one is password column. So we just come to the conclusion that yeah, there is two number of columns. This is going to be the username column and the password column. So I'll paste it here. As I discover, no, I have successfully the user table name, and I have the the user name column and the password column. No, I need to grab the password and username from this user table from the above. So let's create the final payload for it. You just need to type union plus select plus uh no, we need to select this username and then just put comma, and then just remember, you need to type +2, and then just paste the password column from whom, from user table, definitely from this table, and just type dash dash. You can clearly see it is a very simple query. Union select username and password from whom, from this user table. So I'll just copy it. It might be possible it give me some error, but we're gonna fix it if it is. So just remove the old query and paste it. Union select plus username password from user table. So just hit enter, and you can clearly see we got everything without error. So this is the administrator username and password. This is the winner username and password. It might be possible it contain Carlos. So yeah, we just got it. So just copy it, make it a copy, and just go to the my account and try to logged in with administrator and put the password and hit enter, and you can see that boom, we have solved this level. So this was just a bit complex, not that much, but it was just a lengthy. I'll recommend you, if you do it multiple time, you will definitely solve this. So let's give it a quick recap. At first we discover it contain only two column. Both column have the ability to return text data. Then what I basically did, I just used the attack vector to grab the table names from information schema table, which is basically by default table in the non-Oracle databases. So I just type union select table name null from information schema dot tables. It gives me all the table. Then in the table I discover that there is a user column, which might be able to contain users username and password columns. Then I created an attack vector to explore this, that what kind of this columns this table contain. So I just type union select column name null from information schema dot columns, where the table name equal to the above one. So basically it gives me two columns, the username column and the password column. Then what just I did, I just type union select username comma plus password from information schema, from basically from the particular users table, and dash dash at the end to comment out the rest of the query. So remember this, there is no spaces in this, so you can just do it like this. You just need to type comma. So by default it is redirecting me into the next line, but if I maximize it like this, you will be able to see that it is in a one line. Yeah, I hope you can see it without any issue. Okay, so this is how it works. We just done with it. I'll recommend you to go through the non-Oracle database as a homework if you can do it. Otherwise, you can skip it. This is not compulsory at all. Like not compulsory, not in a sense that you don't need to do it. But you got a non-Oracle database, you can just do it with Oracle databases. There is not a big deal. It is going to be your homework, and after that I'll just do one or two more labs. It might be possible I skip the third one, the last one, or if it needed, I'll just do it. So this too is compulsory for blind SQL injection. I'll see you in the next lab to solve the blind SQL injection vulnerability. We just done with SQL injection in a normal way. So take care, bye. Alright, beautiful people, welcome back to the new lab of SQL injection, and this time we will perform blind SQL injection, which means that you will not be able to see the response in your solution tab, in your response tab. So then what we can do, basically our lab is blind SQL injection with time delay. You can just search it and open it in a new tab as I did it already. To avoid the waste of time, we need a burp suit for it too. Okay, so you can clearly see that we have some description. Let's go through it. This lab contain a blind SQL injection vulnerability. The application use a tracking cookie for analytics and performs SQL query containing the value of the submitted cookie. So basically there is a tracking cookie. Basically the application use tracking cookies. They use tracking cookie for analytics, to do some analytics stuff, and then they perform SQL query that containing basically the value of the particular submitted query. The result of the SQL query are not returned. That's why we call these vulnerabilities blind vulnerabilities. Whenever there is a blind in vulnerability, then just remember you will not be able to get the response in the application response tab. So all you can do is to use the third party server, or you can use Pursuit Collaborator in order to confirm that particular vulnerability. Okay, so this is how it works. Our basic goal is basically that we need to find out this vulnerability and then just trigger it. Okay, but remember what we are going to do. We will use a time delay command on the server in order to sleep the server, or in order to shut down the server, in order to cause the delay of 10 second and 30 second or whatever you call it. So basically let's access the lab, and after accessing the lab, the next thing you will need to do is to check out your burp. It is being a long time, I didn't restart it, so I need to do it until my lab will also being opened. So yeah, we have this lab. I think I need to refresh it for one time. Okay, I just closed my burp, that's why it is giving me the error, but no worries. Yeah, everything is fine. So let's reload the burp, reload the page. Our page will be reloaded until the page get reloaded. Yeah, so basically this is the application that we are interested in, and we need to perform an attack over it. That's why I'll need to go to the track. I'll need to go to the proxy, and in the proxy I'll need to go to the HTTP history. So just close, remove the old record, and just reload it at once, and then just click on any particular product. So you can clearly see every request in its body using tracking cookie, and this tracking cookie is basically vulnerable. Okay, you can also see that it is also containing a tracking cookie. It is from YouTube, so just leave it. Yeah, these are the requests that I just did, and it contained tracking cookies. All these tracking cookies are tracking IDs are vulnerable, so just click any one of it. Like anyone means anyone that related with the particular lab, and then send it to the repeater. Okay, when I send it to the repeater, now here is a thing. This tracking cookie is basically vulnerable with blind SQL injection. We need to, when you send the request, you will be able to see the response, or you will be able to see nothing. But the main thing is you will be able to get the response in few milliseconds. Here I need to crash the server for a few seconds. So what I can do, I'll just use double pipe, and then I'll use sleep command. PG sleep, and then you just need to specify the time for how much seconds you want to shut down the server, let's say for 20 seconds, and then type dash dash. That's all you need to do. Just copy it. This is a command, you can execute this command literally on anything. So the next thing is, let's remove the tracking cookie entirely, and then just provide this command instead of tracking cookie, and you can see it gives me response so faster. But the thing is, I think I just forgot to put here the single quote. If you remember, it is compulsory before exploiting any SQL injection vulnerability. No, let's do it again. And it is just giving me the response so much quicker, which means that I am actually not able to exploit this vulnerability. Let's provide any value. For example, let's say x, and then single quote, double pipe pg sleep 20 dash dash. Okay, it is giving me fast response. I need to check the exact query. So to check the exact query, here we have. So what I'll do, I'll just copy this one, tracking id. Remember, this tracking id already exists there, so we do not need to to type it again. So just for the sake of the tutorial, I'm doing this. So this is the original query through which you will be able to exploit it. So let's copy it, and then just paste it after the equal to. And you can see I'm getting a fast response, and if I open the lab, yeah, I think I need to capture any particular request. It might be possible that it is because of the request. So what I'll do, I'll just go to the proxy, and then I'll click on interceptor, and I'll turn on the interceptor, and I'll just refresh it. After refreshing it, you can see that I just got the request. So just send this request to the repeater, and then turn off the interceptor, and then just remove the tracking id, and paste that particular command. So hit enter, and yes, it is working now. Do you know why we were facing errors? You have to put this single you have to put the single sorry, you have to put the semicolon, and you can clearly see that they just told me that congratulations, you have solved this lab. Our command was working perfect. If we go back here, everything was fine. The only thing that we were missing is basically the semicolon. So you just need to type as it is, as it is the part of the query by itself. By default, you have to you have to terminate the query in this way. So if you type this, you can see that I think this belongs to anyone else. So just you can just I'll I'll shut it down for a while. And I think this one is fine. We just messed up with that particular one. If you remove the value of x, let's see what's happened. Still, you will be able to get the response delay. So there is no need to type x. You can just type single quote double pipe pg sleep, and then provide the time delay. For example, if you provide 30 seconds, and it will be delay for 30 seconds, you will not be able to see the response in 30 seconds. As well as you can just type dash dash and semicolon. So this is how the blind SQL injection vulnerabilities work. With time delay, you can confirm the SQL injection with time delay. You can shut down the server temporarily. So yeah, basically this is how it works. You can basically confirm these kind of vulnerabilities with these kind of commands, with sleep commands, if you are interested in finding blind SQL injection vulnerabilities. I'll see you in the next lab. Take care. Guys, I have a good news for all of you. I am offering Ultimate Ethical Hacking Bundle, which contain cybersecurity penetration testing and ethical hacking in a single course, and it will be totally hands-on with real-world scenarios, and there will be 28 plus modules with 150 plus topics. There will be 90 plus practical labs, and you're gonna love it. It contains actually everything that you need to become an ethical hacker and penetration tester. You will be job ready, and you will have the ability to perform practical work as an ethical hacker or penetration tester. So on my website, which is masoodsec.com /outlines, you will get the complete course details, all the modules, topics, each and everything that I am going to cover. If you want a personal mentor or tutor online that will teach you everything individually on Google Meet live classes, on live classes, it is also possible because I have almost 2 years of experience, and I have international students like from countries like USA, UK, Canada, and so many other countries. Yeah, and I have 5+ star rating. I'll be honest, the main thing is all of them love the content, they learn a lot, and they actually grow a lot. So if you are searching for a personal mentor, I'm here. I will teach you everything, even though if you do not have a technical background, even though if you have a zero knowledge about cybersecurity, ethical hacking, and penetration testing. I will help you throughout of everything, and I'll be here to assist you with everything. Yeah, if you want to only be enrolled in the course, then you can easily enroll for the course. Yeah, and if you want that, I also need a live mentor who will teach me individually everything on Google Meet, then this is also possible. You can also go for the live mentorship program. So if you just want to enroll, just visit my website, which is masoodsec.com. I will make sure to pin the link. You can just contact with me on WhatsApp or any other platform. By the way, if you want to read more about the mentorship program and service training options, each and everything, and outlines thing, each and everything has been mentioned on my official website. So you can browse all the courses, each and everything. Oh, so yeah, that was all. Have a good day. Bye.